What's up, what's up, what's up? Just DFG in the house. Okay, so I have a story to tell you about what happened when I went to this meeting from this group that's on Facebook. And it was, the name of the group is Creative Likes in Japan or something like that. I don't know the name of it. And the owner, well, not the owner, but the person who started the group, I guess the owner, invited people to a, I guess a monthly or a bi-monthly or try or quarterly meeting or something. But we went. There were two black women, two black guys. I think everyone. Anyway, so we were all talking and stuff, and we got into this really deep, this really interesting conversation. I'll just call it a conversation. And it started because, well, what happened was everyone was pretty much on their computers and doing different things, you know. And one person was drawing, the other two were on their computers and stuff. And so I was going to leave. Actually, I was going to leave because I had a meeting to go to. But I was like, okay, well, let's start a conversation. But I don't really know what to talk about. I just like talking about things I read in books and stuff like that, or different serious, what are they called? Serious type of conversations. So in other words, I don't usually get into complaining about Japan or complaining about white people and stuff like that, you know. I mean, sometimes I may bring it up, you know, for a reason, but, you know, just to do it, you know, just because there's nothing else to do and stuff, I usually don't do that. So I was thinking, like, what can I talk about? So then I remembered a conversation about vocabulary with a friend that I had. I had a conversation with a friend and on Skype. So I said, okay, well, let's talk about that. So I don't know exactly how we started talking about words and stuff like that, but I started bringing up conversation. I think maybe I started off with math or something like that, and how a lot of people really have problems with math because they just lack the vocabulary. And then I brought up the thing about the conversation about vocabulary and stuff like that. And I think that's how the conversation started. But anyway, I had said that the guy that I was talking to, he's like 20-something years old, and he was talking about how conscious he was. So he was talking, and I was telling him that he was talking about conscious. And so I'm waiting to tell me, what is it that he's conscious of, because the word of definition. I mean, definition of conscious it means you know something. So you got to say what the something is. I'm sure you said, well, I know something. Leave it up to other people to guess. So he kept saying it. Then I stopped and I asked him, because me and him were talking about money and how to progress in life and stuff like that. And so I asked him, I said, why do you keep saying the word conscious all the time? Do you know what the word means? And he said, yeah, it means I'm conscious, I'm aware and stuff. And I'm like, maybe you could use a dictionary. So he looked in the dictionary and it said to know something. And I said, it's interesting because I believe we were talking about being successful and, problems a lot of people have in the States getting jobs and stuff like that. And then I said, but a lot of problems that a lot of people have is they just lack vocabulary, and that's what happens in school, like math, for instance. And so, anyway, I brought up the word conscious, and the one brother, he was like, oh, you mean conscious, like that group Conscious People, I guess from New York, wherever they're from, and stuff. And he just got really excited and started talking about it and stuff, and we got into the definition of what conscious meant. I just said, well, anyone can say they're conscious, but don't tell you what they're conscious in. It doesn't mean anything, because the first word is something, but what is it something? You can know that this sky is blue and, or appears blue anyway. But anyway, so he had kind of got really excited about that. And I think we kept on talking about vocabulary and stuff like that. And so then I had thought about, hey, maybe I should start talking, to this guy about how the mind, the brain, hormones and glands and tissues all work together. Because I had just, I was still thinking about my PDO video. P is processing, encoding, delivering, execution, and override. So when I started to bring it up, I remember that he gets a little excited, really kind of emotional and stuff. So what I did was I gestured in a circle, and I said before this conversation, I said before it gets emotional, and as soon as I said emotional, one of the women just didn't hear what I said and just kind of started talking about, well, why am I saying emotional? Why am I saying black women are emotional? And I should be careful using that word. And then the other sister, she's almost 40, and she got into it too. And it was like going back and forth. And I'm thinking to myself, what's wrong with using the word emotional? And so they're saying like, well, how people use emotionals and black women are emotional and stuff like that. And I'm thinking like, okay, but they say that about black men and angry white men, and all of those are emotions too. So, the word emotions isn't exclusively used for black women, and don't tell me not to use emotions. I can use it when I want. And they said, well, you should be conscious of the people around you. I said, yeah, but if I use it in a context that doesn't even have anything to do with black women, then why should I not be able to use it, And then I asked them, I said, well, what did I say? And they told me what they said. They thought I said, and I'm like, no, that's not what I said, So the younger one, she was like, well, just listen to me when I finish talking, cause, so I let her, say what she said and stuff. And I said, no, you totally misunderstood what I was thinking and stuff like that, and what I said. And she said, well, no, because you gestured, towards us. And I'm thinking like, okay, but I'm turned in a diagonal. I'm diagonally from this guy. So when I make my gesture, it was not a gesture towards you two. Actually, it was a circle. It was a circle, and I was talking about it. She said, well, what did you say? I said, before it becomes emotional, and then it is the topic that I wanted to talk about. So she said, oh, okay, I made an error. But the other sister, where she was going off, like, what's going on in the States. And I'm sitting here listening to her, and I'm thinking to myself, why are you bringing up black women and emotional and what people think about, again, I don't know if CNN or Brothers or whatever, the YouTube fighting and stuff going on. And I said, I come from an era where black men and black women loved each other, okay? And we didn't have all this bickering that you guys are doing on YouTube and stuff like that. We had our problems, but, it was always love there, And so you're talking about this emotional word and using it with black women and all of that stuff. And I'm thinking like, that's your time and everything, and I'm using it in a different way, And then so I asked her, what did she say? And she told me something too, and it was wrong. And I was like, no, that's not what I said, And it was really interesting and stuff. And then she was like, well, you're talking about definitions and you're using, you're a hypocrite, you're using emotion wrong. And I'm thinking like, huh? And they said, what emotions mean? I'm like, yeah, it just means you see a situation and you create some image or some movie or some play or whatever you want to call it in your mind, and then you react to it, and that's it. And your reaction might be a little excited, might be normal or low or excited, but that's just the emotion. It's just your just the way you act on it and stuff, And then I don't know if she understood what I said or not. She was paying attention. And then so she said what she had to say, and I just said, forget it. This isn't going anywhere, And then she was like, listen to me or something like that. I'm not sure. So I'm just looking at her while she's talking and stuff, And I'm thinking like, wow, I mean, I thought a lot of stuff, and I was thinking like, let me be patient, because I said like, I'm 51 years old, you guys don't, I'm not stupid or something like that. And the two sisters were like, I don't care how old you are, I'm like, whoa, now I see what's going on with the younger generation, because I have a friend too on my players, and he was always talking about how the older generations failed us, but wasn't it the older generations that shined shoes and went through slavery, and did a lot of stuff to make things better for the generation coming up, because they could have actually just said, what, we're not going to have our kids doing this, and just stop reproducing. And they could have just done it. The parents who are coming up now, they could have said, well, what, we're not going to reproduce, because one of my friends said he's not having kids. He's a black person, said he's not having kids, he's just having fun. When he died, that's it. You know, I'm thinking like, okay. But, you know, so I'm just looking at her, you know, and not really thinking of anything. And so she's like, you know, saying what she has to say. And then she said, it was funny. She was like, I can tell by looking in your eyes that what I'm saying is going in one ear and run out the other ear. And I wanted to say something. I said, no, let me be still and whatever and let her say what she got to say so this conversation could be over. And then when she finished, she said, that's it, this conversation's all over. No, she was like, well, you know, I'm a hard person to piss off, and you just pissed me off, and congratulations. And it just flashed back to, like, you know, maybe one of my aunties getting mad at me. And I was like, whoa, you know, what's wrong? And I'm thinking, like, you know, I thought a lot of stuff, and I'm not even going to go into what I was thinking about because I don't want to make this video into anything more than it. But the intention was just to share the experience, you know, and then give my thoughts about it. But it was really interesting. But the whole thing was that the whole conversation, what I kept trying to explain to them, is all you heard was the word emotional. Then you're trying to tell me that I'm using emotional to describe YouTube, which I wasn't even thinking about black women. And then they're telling me how black women are having problems with that word emotional from the TV and all of this stuff. And then I said, well, maybe that's because, I said, well, you know, maybe if black women just don't pay attention to CNN, and if they don't internalize, you know, what people are saying and just say, forget it, you know, let them talk. Because, like, that's what they're doing. I think I said this, I'm not sure in this or another conversation, but I said, you know, it's like a lot of people always saying they showing TV on CNN about black people, and they showing it around the world and giving us a bad reputation. But I watch Japanese news all the time, and they don't talk about black people unless it was something really, really drastic. But I mean, really bad, like stuff like that. Otherwise, they don't show anything on TV, on the news about black people. They got their own problems out here that they showing. They don't have time to be gossiping or showing about, you know, things that's going on in other countries, and I really don't see it. And I tell them, now if I do see anything about black people, it's going to be on CNN, you know, but they control the information, you know, that they broadcast. So I'm thinking, like, you know, okay. And then another thing too, it was like I was thinking, like, well, you know, who in Japan even know, what Japanese person in Japan even know anything about emotional black women? And then most of the brothers out here that I know of all around the world, you know, most of them aren't even dating black women. And black women that I've spoken to, they come out to Japan to date Japanese women or date white guys or Asian men or whomever, but they're not really interested in black men. And the black men come out here and they're not really interested in dating black women. And actually and I mean, that's with every ethnicity, you know. And it's, I mean, the only ones that I see that's really dating each other or maybe kind of serious might be Brazilians, you know. But other than that, I don't really see it so much. But I don't know, because I've met some, you know, Brazilian women, you know, and like they got things to say about them, man. But you know, I've said that to a lot of people, that hey, you know, in all the countries, all the men and all the women, they're pretty much fighting each other. So whatever. But anyway, it was just really interesting, the conversation. But you know, there is something that she did say that was really interesting about African American vocabulary, Ebonics. I forgot what the name is. You know, I heard about this like years ago, but I thought it was kind of silly, and I want to talk about that in another video. But the conversation, it was actually, I wasn't angry at them at all. You know, they're young. You know, I'm 51. One lady's 39, so you know she can say if she's old as she wants. But you know, I look at them. You know, look at all of them. They're all young. You know, and they still got their lives to go through. Still have to get married, have kids. You know, and find a husband, and you know, and just do a lot of things. You know, and a lot of people come over here to Japan, and it's peaceful. And a lot of people don't do it. You know, and I've been married 3 times. All 3 of my marriages were successful. You know, I got 2 sets of kids. I'm divorced twice, and that was because the women fell in love with other people, and that's good too, because I understand that there is no such thing as a man who can satisfy a woman 100%. And even when everyone I've married, we were more or less like friends, even throughout the marriage and stuff. Except for my second wife, she was like real cool, but a little domestically violent a little bit, you know. But other than that, she was cool, you know. I mean, we had some we had actually some really good times, you know. So, but you know, she did what she wanted to do, you know. Plus, she was older, you know, 12 years older than me, but she looked younger than I was. But I didn't care, you know. I'm like, okay, whatever, you know. My first wife, you know, she fell in love with somebody else, said she wanted a divorce, and I'm like, all right, fine, you know, whatever, you know. And, you know, I tried to stay, but you know, for the kids' sakes, but you know, she was like, nah, she wanted to finish. I'm like, all right, fine, you know, okay. And I just went on about my business and stuff. The second one too, she was like, oh, you know, blah blah blah, you know. So I did a lot of stuff, you know, and I think to me the most important thing, especially other worrying about what some other people think about you, is, you know, you taking care of your business and reproducing, and then being able to take care of your kids, and then you know, help and assist other people taking care of their kids, and also preparing them for the future, giving them the tools they need to prepare for the future, because the future is always changing. You know, when I was coming up, we didn't have smartphones and stuff, so I could sit up there and try to tell my kids about playing Atari and stuff like that, you know. But as they grew up, you know, things, you know, Atari changed, Nintendo came in, and everything else came in. So, you know, I was more or less just really interesting how the conversation really turned different based on the fact that one word was taken out of context, and then when I tried to explain it, that the whole process, the whole encoding, the delivering, and the execution, and there was only one override, which was from the one girl, how all that came into perspective. And it was weird, because it was like what I was saying in the videos just popped into life, and it was actually something that I wanted to say, you know. And you know, and the one woman, she said she made a mistake, you know, so it's cool, you know. I wasn't angry or anything, you know, but the other one, she just kept on going and stuff. So you know, I don't know, hopefully we'll all meet again, and you know, hopefully we'll be able to discuss things, and you know, let people listen, because listening till a person finish what they were saying is really cool. But the whole thing it was interesting, because people were talking, people were listening. I think maybe I was talking a lot. No, I ain't gonna say I was talking a lot. I was talking too much, probably, you know. But I think I know the one sister, when she was talking about the vocabulary and the you know, how blacks say you be, you being this, you be, and I is, or you is, and not doing the be verbs right and stuff. That was a really good, interesting conversation, you know. But it was interesting. So I just thought I'd let you know how that went, you know, just one word taken out of context, you know. It's like before it, and it was funny because I told the sister, the younger one, I was like, you know, but the whole thing is, I was talking to the guy, you know, and I wanted to tell him not to get emotional, because of how he got emotional when we were talking about the word continuous. And maybe to him it wasn't emotional. And of course, you know, people when they act a certain way, well, in their minds, you know, they're calm or they're just normal. But when that action is viewed from the outside, then of course it's going to be interpreted elsewhere in different ways. So and so basically what it was when he said conscious, it was cool. But then when he went into conscious, and then he started talking about those other groups, and you know, they're thinking and stuff, then I was like, it's getting out of hand. Wait, I want to talk about this first, and you know, get this out of the way. And so when basically when I brought up the PDO thing, you know, I just wanted to see what everyone's view was, and try to keep it like one point and stuff, like most of my videos aren't. I keep going off the topic and stuff. But anyway, that's it. I'm out. And this video isn't to slam anyone. All three of them were cool. Both sisters were, cool, nice black women and stuff. And of course, if we can hang out, I hang out again with them and things like that. And I'm really interested in hearing, or not hearing, but talking more to the older sister about is it the vernacular? I think that's the word, vocabulary or something like that. These words are just popping in my head and stuff. But about the South, and it was interesting because she was saying like how a lot of the South was brought up north because most of the slaves, people up north came from the South and stuff. And I was thinking, well, there were, but actually I was thinking to myself, I think I did mention too, but there were a lot of slaves already up north, because some even came in from Baltimore and Maryland, and I would think that would be kind of like up north, a little bit. But anyway, it was just really interesting. What she said was really interesting, and I actually did want to talk about it because I had some other friends I was talking about. But anyway, that's about it. Like I said, I left and went to my meeting, and it was a real quick meeting, and everybody left, and then so I had to call and see what was going on. They said, you took too long, and so we discussed a little bit on the phone because it wasn't that much, just had to make a $20 billion deal and stuff. No, I'm joking, but it was some business. I went, we did it on the phone real quick since everybody didn't wait around, so because I was about 20 minutes late because I didn't want to interrupt what was going on in the conversation, because I didn't just want to abruptly leave, leave scars and open wounds and stuff, because I felt that was more important than the business that I had to do. But everything worked out. So anyway, I came back after finishing the phone conversation, and then I walked back in, and I was like, oh, hello, it's okay if I can join you again? And they were like, yeah, it's cool, it's no problem. So I was like, oh, cool, real cool and stuff, so it was just really, the whole thing was really interesting. I would like to know how they felt when I came back, because it was like, I was thinking like, I wonder if I was angry. I wasn't angry at all, just people, we all talk and everything. Plus anger is something that you have to you have to choose yourself. You have to actually give a command to your body to do. Well, I like this color yellow. This is really cool. It's almost like, I don't know. But they say yellow is good for the pituitary glands, the food and stuff, and the sun is yellow. So maybe Japan might be trying to wake up that pineal pituitary gland, the pineal gland in Japanese people to make them more aware and smarter, whatever. They know. It's interesting. And now sometimes they do have blue lights. Like I'm way off topic, and they have blue lights on in the streets too, which is really calm and stuff. So I thought that was really. But anyway, I'm out. Peace.